Kanpur's brat gets off easy. Arrested after 4 days, released in 6 hours. The great Lambo cover-up story. Delayed arrest, speedy release. Money talks, power walks. Where does the buck stop?
And serious questions are being raised about whether justice moves differently for the powerful. A high-end car, a crowded street, multiple people injured, and a legal process that moved at breakneck speed once the accused was finally taken into custody. Was due process followed strictly, or was the system unusually generous? Why did it take days for decisive action? Why did custody last only a few hours? And what does this case say about influence, access, and accountability? First up the story, and then I bring in the guests.
A supercar crashes. 6 injured, yet the man behind the wheel walks free. In Kanpur's Lamborghini crash, a troubling perception grows stronger. When power intervenes, accountability weakens. Shivam Mishra, accused in the high-profile crash, roams free within hours of his arrest. Arrested after 4 days of mounting pressure, he spends barely 6 hours in custody before walking out on a personal bond of just 20,000 rupees. For many, the optics are stark. When you are the son of a powerful tobacco baron, does influence become a shield? Here is how the farce unfolded. After his arrest, Mishra undergoes a medical examination and is produced before the court. In an unusual move, he argues his own case. The court refuses police remand, directs him to cooperate with the investigation, and raises questions over the notices issued by the police.
उसको रिमांड नहीं लाना चाहिए, ये विधि के विरुद्ध है, माननीय सर्वोच्च न्यायालय की गाइडलाइन के विरुद्ध है। माननीय जज साहब ने अपने जुडिशियल विवेक का इस्तेमाल करते हुए इनका रिमांड रिफ्यूज कर दिया और 20,000 रुपये की पीवी और 20,000 रुपये के अंडरटेकिंग पे शिवम मिश्रा को रिहा करने का आदेश पारित कर दिया।
What led to the arrest was not surrender, but surveillance. CCTV footage changed the course of the case. 2 crucial clips tell a damaging story. Shivam Mishra allegedly behind the wheel, and an apparent attempt to change the Lamborghini's number plate. Police allege there was an effort to mislead investigators. A different driver was allegedly presented. A false affidavit was filed. The probe was steered off track. Investigators say Mishra did not cooperate when summoned, raising serious questions about whether the system was bending to protect the tobacco baron KK Mishra's son. The case also exposes major lapses in the initial investigation. No immediate alcohol test, no mention of Mishra's name in the original FIR. Affidavits claiming a different driver. 4 crucial days lost before action was taken. Only after public pressure mounted was Shivam Mishra formally named in the FIR and arrested. But this story is bigger than one crash in Kanpur. When arrests come late, when custody lasts barely hours, justice stops looking blind. The Kanpur Lamborghini case is not just about speed on the road. It is about the speed of influence. And in the race between power and the law, power still seems to be ahead.
The court today also raised concerns over the botched-up investigation by Kanpur police and called the arrest of Shivam Mishra illegal. Now it remains to be seen that what action will be taken by Kanpur police, who is already under the scanner for the shady investigation. With video journalist Shivam Shukla, this is Chawla in Kanpur for India Today.
So who is shielding this Kanpur VVIP brat? The court has clearly pointed out at several lapses by the UP police in its investigation. The court has found out that the arrest procedure contained legal flaws. The court has stated that the police failed to properly comply with the legal processes. Furthermore, the Supreme Court's guidelines were also not followed. Then why did these lapses actually happen? Was it done deliberately? Is the big question. Simar Chawla is joining me from Kanpur. Simar, give us the explanation. I mean, what explains all the lapses in the investigation and the arrest by the UP police?
Well, some serious question raised by Kanpur court on the Kanpur police working itself. Now what we saw on the first day, that the FIR was lodged was not in some serious sections. The sections which included in the FIR in fact had punishment for less than 7 years. Now let me just explain you, if the punishment is for less than 7 years, the police cannot legally arrest the accused. For arresting, the sections should have been more serious. But in this, what we saw is that the local SHO, when he registered the FIR, first Shivam Mishra's name was not included in the FIR. When there was pressure created through social media and through India Today, we have been clearly running this news ever since this incident has happened. The FIR was registered, the name was mentioned, but it was too late. Third point is that the medical of Shivam Mishra was not done even after 72 hours. There is a rule book which says that in such incident, within 24 hours, the medical of the accused should be done. He was allowed to let go, to flee from the spot, citing a medical emergency. The Kanpur police, should have nabbed Shivam Mishra wherever he was. The police team should have gone to him and at least conducted its medical. But that too didn't happen. That's why the medical was missing from the police report. Now, what Kanpur police did today is arrested him and told court that he was evading the sections of 33 BBNS. That means he is not taking the notices. He is evading the questioning. He is not cooperating in the investigation so far. Court, although came hard crackdown on police, said that the legal process was not followed and called this arrest illegal. They've also raised some several questions on the lapses of the Kanpur police.
Okay, so a lot of questions being raised there. Simar will continue to keep coming to you with more details. Yashwardhan Azad is joining us. We have Dr. Kamal Sohi as well. Yashwardhan Azad, on the face of it, somebody is protecting this accused, and only because he's a VVIP and a rich man's son.
In fact, in all such cases where the Audis or Mercedes or Lamborghinis are involved, everyone gets into to sort of, support the accused. As you can see that the first thing which should have been done was to arrest this guy, but a driver. This is a usual ploy, Maria. It has been happening for 40 years. That whenever a rich man is indicted in a particular case, it's always the driver who's sent for arrest. Then, of course, all those sections are put which are bailable, which we have seen. There should have been a culpable homicide not amounting to murder. There should have been sections added for 7 years. If you see all the 4 sections which have been put in this case, they are all below 3 years. But, Maria, I'm also surprised by the court. It's fine to, point out lapses. But judiciary also is there for giving justice, not only criticizing. It could have redirected investigation in a fresh manner. They could have asked the prosecution. It's not that the justice arm of justice is totally separate.
But Yashwardhan Azad, would you, since you're talking about justice and judiciary at the lower court level, do you think that they take that extra step? They go with the clear processes here. And here, if there are the arrest has not been carried out without proper notice under BNS, there is violation of Supreme Court guidelines, then they are just following the piece of law here, the rule book.
No, you see, the police is certainly to be blamed. There is no doubt about it. In fact, in all such cases, immediately the senior officer should get involved. And I'm really shocked because in such cases, you're quite aware if a Mishra has been caught, who's the tobacco king, the entire Kanpur city would know, the ministers would know, the MLAs would know. So there is a quiet complicity in this entire exercise. There's no doubt about it. So hence I'm talking about the lower courts who do not play their role at all by merely giving out 4 or 5. This is usual, attacking the police and telling them. The prosecutors are there. The prosecutor is not a policeman. They could have indicted them that how did you put up this case without any proper guardrails or safeguards. So it's unfortunately is the entire ecosystem which is mixed up. I don't want to take names, but you understand what I'm trying to drive at. This is the most unfortunate part of our system today.
Absolutely. But, one would say, Dr. Kamal Soi, that the other side should have been prepared, that this is how in most of these, crash cases, the VIPs and those who are rich and powerful get away with.
I fully, agree with you, this has happened in the case in this Kanpur, this happened in the case in Pune, this happened in the case, Nanda case in Delhi as well. What is happening is the police become complacent by looking at their profile. They always try to, this is open and shut case. The person was taken out of the injured Lamborghini by his bouncers. And it was apparent that this guy was the only, he was the only guy who was behind wheels. And how come a driver appears and then police gave a theory that this guy was not driving. The driver, there was another guy, driver was driving the vehicle. So once you are not able to, there is two fears in the road safety. That is, one is fear of being caught. So you are caught red-handed and in front of the cameras. Then the fear of being punished. Here, this fear of being punished is not seen at all. You are scot-free after injuring score of people and they've been put at risk of being given death. Now, the question is, law should be same for everybody. Whether you are a VVIP, you are a tobacco king, or you are a liquor king, or you are a automobile king. So now the question here is, we cannot let go these kind of people. If we let go these kind of people, law will stay only in the books, and people will stop, having trust in our policing. So here, police failed. This total system failed. There was no crash investigation as such.
But
so
this has been the case.
Did the accident?
What happens in this particular case is not really an exception. VIPs, rich and powerful, have been getting away for years now in this country.
Yes, you are right, absolutely, Maria, and this should not happen. Law should be same for everybody, and now what we can, I remember.
The question is, why was no medical test conducted on Shivam after the crash?
Salman Khan
why was Shivam allowed to leave Kanpur for Delhi? Multiple questions. Listen to me, Dr. Kamal Soi. Why was Shivam allowed to leave Kanpur for Delhi? Why was no medical test conducted on him? Multiple such questions need an answer of Yashwardhan Azad, and the Kanpur police doesn't have answers to most of these questions.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yashwardhan Azad.
Suspended. It should not only be the SHO.
I mean, and if it was about UP police, then why wasn't he arrested in Delhi? He did travel to Delhi.
Right. You know why, Maria? Because the law cannot be the same for everyone, because the gutka kings or the tobacco kings or all these liquor magnates are the ones who are paying a lot of money to the political parties. So you understand their clout is absolutely immeasurable. In this particular case, in fact, the DCP included should be suspended, and the Commissioner Kanpur should be held for inquiry. This is a case which needs an examination right from the top, but unfortunately the court itself does not play its role. I'm very sorry to say it. If a case comes to you in a botched up manner, you have the authority to redirect the investigation in a particular manner, and the prosecutor itself also should be suspended in this particular case. So there is supposed to be, thank God for the media and the TV channels which have brought this case. Otherwise, it has been happening for the last 5 decades in exactly the same fashion.
Let me give you the last word, Dr. Kamal Soi.
Yeah, if we want to stop this kind of massacre on the roads, we have to be very, very strict. The countries world over, whosoever been able to reduce the number of deaths and injuries and this kind of road terrorism and road ravage, we have to be strict, and without enforcement and without the people at helm of affairs, the punishment should be exemplary. And here, no medical done. This guy is his age is not verified and is scot free. And this gives an example. If you are rich, you can buy law. If you are poor, you will be only behind bars. Only the rich can play with the law. And laws, like I will not like to use the word, laws like that in the hands of riches. I always believe and. I pray to the God.
I have Naresh
that
Chandra Tripathi, Shivam Mishra's counsel, also joining us. Mr. Tripathi, there are a lot of questions that are being raised. Of course, your job is to protect your client, but the processes, the point that you have raised, that the arrest should be an exception in cases where the punishment is less than 7 years of imprisonment. That has been the Supreme Court guidelines. The arrest has not been carried out.
Yes,
All those points that have been raised, but the larger question is also the sense that one gets that the rich and powerful get away. And this was a sham arrest of just 6 hours.
Yes. Today, पुलिस ने जो गिरफ्तारी की है वो कतई अनलीगल थी. माननीय सर्वोच्च न्यायालय का अपना व्यू है कि 7 साल से कम की सजा के मामलों में कोई गिरफ्तारी ना की जाए. साथ ही बीएनएसएस में सेक्शन 35 के अन्य सेक्शनों में ये क्लियर है कि अगर कोई अभियुक्त आपको परीक्षण में आपकी विवेचना में सहयोग नहीं कर रहा है तो आप उसको कम से कम 2 बार नोटिस दें. पुलिस ने वो भी प्रोसीजर फॉलो अप नहीं किया, जिसकी वजह से आज वो जब रिमांड लेके माननीय न्यायालय में आए तो माननीय न्यायालय ने उनसे एक क्वेश्चन रेज किया विवेचना अधिकारी से, आईओ से, कि आपने इनको क्यों गिरफ्तार किया. तो विवेचना अधिकारी ने कहा कि अभियुक्त द्वारा विवेचना में सहयोग नहीं किया जा रहा. इस पर मजिस्ट्रेट ने, जज साहब ने पूछा कि क्या इनको आपने नोटिस दी है. इन्होंने कहा मैंने नोटिस देने का प्रयास किया. उन्होंने कहा आपने किसी सीडी के, केस डायरी के किसी भी पर्चे में, पेपर में ये चीज मेंशन की है. तो इन्होंने कहा मैंने
I get your point, Naresh Tripathi ji. But what is evident here is that you were able to point out at the lapses. Perhaps the fact is that the Kanpur police and the UP police did not really prepare a watertight case to ensure that Shivam Mishra stays behind bars. Thank you so much for joining us, Yashwardhan Azad, Dr. Kamal Soi, and the lawyer here, Shivam Mishra's lawyer, Naresh Tripathi, who spoke to us.